Hello, welcome back to Simply Women's Health with CJ. Today we're going to talk about human papillomavirus, also known as HPV. HPV is extremely common. It is also the virus that is responsible for 99.9% of cervical cancers, which is why it's very relevant in the gynecological world. So within the HPV family, there are 200 different strains of HPV. Some of them that you might be familiar with, plantar warts. If you have ever had any kind of cauliflower-looking lesions on your genitalia, those are also HPV. HPV does grow on the cervix. It has no symptoms. There are 40 different strains of HPV that affect the reproductive system. Of those 40, 14 are known to cause cancer. Within those 14 strains, there's two strains that are especially important. Number 16 is responsible for 50% of cervical cancers. Number 18 is responsible for 25% of cervical cancers. There's a relatively new player on the field that is being implicated in 5% of cervical cancers, and that is number 45. So right there, between these three strains, you have 80% of your cervical cancers. There are 11 other strains of HPV that can also lead to cervical cancer as well. So when you have your pap smear and you are between the ages of 21 and 30, if you have atypical cells, they will often reflex and look for the presence of human papillomavirus. If you are after the age of 30, and even if your pap is completely normal, they can order what's called an HPV co-test, where they DNA test the sample for HPV. If your HPV and your pap are completely normal after the age of 30, you only need a pap smear every 5 years. If you have the presence of HPV, depending on what level of abnormal cells you have, please feel free to review my pap result video where I talk about abnormal pap results. You will probably, if you have abnormal cells and or the presence of human papillomavirus, you will probably be instructed to schedule a colposcopy. I do have a video that tells you all about what to expect with a colposcopy. So how can you protect yourself from getting human papillomavirus? Remember, it's very, very common. 50% of the sexually active population has HPV. So if you have had sex with more than one partner, or your partner has had sex with more than one partner, you have a 50% chance of being exposed to this virus. There is a vaccination that came out in 2007 called Gardasil. Initially, Gardasil was what's called a quadrivalent. It only protected you from 4 different strains. Numbers 6 and 11, which were those the cauliflower-looking lesions that you get on your bottom, also known as genital warts, and 16 and 18. A few years ago, a new vaccine came out. It's still in the Gardasil family, but it now protects you from 9 of the different strains. This vaccination is approved for children as young as 9 years old, both boys and girls. Remember, males can have this too. There are no symptoms, so they do recommend that the boys and the girls get it. And it has now been approved for patients all the way up to the age of 45. So that is something that if you have not already been vaccinated, I recommend you look into it and get more information and see if that vaccine is right for you. If you have any questions about HPV, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. My email address is at the top. I'll also put it in the comment section of today's video. Hi, if you're still here, thanks so much for sticking around through the entire video. If you feel as though this information has been helpful to you, or you think you know somebody that might benefit from the information provided in these videos, please feel free to like it, share it, and if you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you did that. Any and all support that you can provide is so greatly appreciated. As always, these videos were not created as as a replacement for a visit with your healthcare provider, rather as a place for you to come for basic, reliable information that is non-biased and hopefully allow you to figure out what questions to ask your healthcare provider at your next visit to best meet your healthcare needs. Again, I appreciate all of your support. If you want to contact me, my information is at the top of this screen, and I will put it in the comment section of this video. That's all I have for today. This is CJ. I'm at your cervix.